This is Phil Golfi with Remax the Golfi team. Welcome to the Golfi Real Estate Show with host Stephanie Vivier and special guest Devon from Land Art Landscaping.
Well, welcome, Phil, and welcome, Devon. Excited to get to know Devon a little bit more, and great to have you back on the show, Phil.
Yes, our second show together. I am back in the hot seat. Rob is away on special assignment. I actually don't know where he is or what he's doing, but he sent me a text last night, and he said, "Hey, I need you to hop on the show with Steph." So what had happened is the family who owned this property wanted to help a family friend out who didn't have a place to stay, might have been on the streets. And they opened up their doors to him, let him stay with the agreement that he would leave by a certain date because the house is sold. And so now we're getting ready to move in, and we hadn't closed on the deal, but we're getting ready, right? We're a couple days away from closing, and this person's saying he's not leaving. Oh, and no. So it was a complete debacle. I felt so sorry for my buyers. And then what happened next, I went back to the other real estate agent. We got the lawyers involved. And long story short, we said, we're not buying the house anymore. We won out of the deal. You're in breach of contract because the house isn't vacant on possession. And there had been damage done to the house since the occupant was living there. And so we vacated the deal. We got out of the deal and we moved on. And, it was super disappointing, but there's a few lessons here. It's like if you're going to open up your house and bring someone in, there has to be an agreement, or I don't know. It's such a tough situation. It's, you want to be that kind family to let, bring someone in and put a roof over their head. But in the end, it was just such a debacle, and kind of uprooted my buyers' lives for a few months. And they were getting ready for this dream home that they had purchased, and they kind of got it pulled out from underneath them. But in the end, we moved on, and we went and bought another property. So we're actually conditional on a property in Beamsville right now. We have the home inspection today. It's another vacant property, but there's no one living in there, which is amazing. And they're super happy with it. So, but it's just the craziest things you see, when you're in this business, and who you're working with and how you're working with them. It's, but that's just another story to add to the list of many.
Well, had you not done that walkthrough, then they would have closed. They would have had to be dealing with this person who, as I understand, it's, we hear possession's 9/10 of the law or whatever it is, right? It would be very difficult to get him out. So you really saved your buyers there by doing that walkthrough. We are in the Golfi Real Estate Show today. Phil Golfi is our guest, and coming up in just a little bit, Devon from Land Art Landscaping also going to be joining the show. You can get a hold of the Golfi team at 905-641-0308. robgolfi.com. Stick around. Phil's going to be here with us more next on News Talk 610 CKTV. Welcome back to the Golfi Real Estate Show. I'm Steph Vivier, and with us today, Phil Golfi with Remax the Golfi team. And Phil, of course, it's not just you. You've brought along a guest with you today.
That's right. Yeah, Devon from Land Art.
Landscaping. Look at that. We're saying it all together.
Yeah, so we've known Devon now for a few years. We've collaborated on a few projects. They do amazing work, and they run an amazing business. So we wanted to bring Devon on and just talk about the ins and outs of his business, combined with best practices and how he can help people in terms of what's going on this year and how to get prepared for next year. So it's my pleasure to introduce Devon to the show. Thanks for being on the show, Devon.
Excellent. Thank you very much for having me this morning.
So, in regard to, your business and Land Art, what do they do, and what do you guys specialize in?
Excellent. Yeah. So, my background is actually landscape architecture. So I work with all of our clients from day one, when they're looking to renovate their home or build a landscape project. We're a full service design build company based out of Beamsville. So we service all of Niagara. And yeah, we kind of build full outdoor patio spaces, outdoor living structures, and full home renovations as well.
Awesome. That's amazing. Good for you. And so how, as we look toward 2025, and maybe somebody, sitting at home right now over the winter holidays, they start looking at their property or their backyard, and they're just dreaming of a backyard oasis, or there's always this one project that they wanted to get to, and they have this vision for. I guess it's, how to get started and where to get started, and what's your advice for people who want, kind of have this itch that they want to scratch, and in terms of working on their house.
Absolutely.
Just before he answers, and I will cut this out, can we get him either closer to the mic or his mic up a little bit?
Yeah.
That better?
All right. Okay, so go ahead and answer the question.
Yeah, absolutely. This is perfect time of year to, as you're home for the holidays, thinking about the different things that you might be wanting to do around the house. We always say January is a great time to reach out to a contractor or a designer, start getting some plans in place. Usually takes a couple of months anyways to build out the design plans, get the different permits for your project, and then that allows the builder or the contractor to kind of plan appropriately the labor and materials for the summer and the fall. So getting ahead of the game is always a good thing to do. A lot of times we get questions. I know a lot of costs have gone up in the last couple of years. We're seeing that costs have pretty well stabilized, which is really exciting. You can have a lot more consistency in what you're expecting for the costs of your project. But yeah, now's the time to start thinking about projects for 2025.
And what would you say are the most popular projects that you guys are getting calls in? What's kind of the main focus, or what most people want in when it comes to improving their yards?
Absolutely, yeah. Inside out is the way that we're thinking about a lot of projects. So connecting the home, the kitchen, the main living areas, the windows and doors to the outdoors, and then 3-season covered structures where you can spend time out early in the year and in March and April, right through the summer. Different things to extend the season into the fall between heaters and drop screens and fireplaces to really extend your season. Right from the beginning of the spring right through into the fall. Sunrooms, those types of projects, people are making the most of their outdoor spaces.
Yeah, and I always, even when it comes to home building, right, I always talk about it's so important to get the design right, and that that always starts at the beginning. Is hiring a top designer, hiring somebody who's extremely knowledgeable, who's worked on a number of different designs before. But just talk about even in your space when it comes to landscaping, combined with the design of that inside to out house, but the importance of getting a designer, and then the ability to even make that design come to life even before the project starts, and with 3D renderings. Absolutely.
There's a few different things to keep in mind there. Yeah, bringing in a design team opens up the possibilities that you might never have thought about before. They work closely with you to get the right solution, the best solution for your problems and your ideas. But yeah, being able to take a space and put together a 3D rendering, a 3D walkthrough video to see how all these things are going to look even before any sort of equipment or work starts on the project. Being able to try different ideas, see it in context, and see what the sun's going to do, see what the shade looks like in different spaces, the actual materials before you can make really good informed decisions.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then let's talk about budgets, right? Obviously, you work on a number of different projects, all kinds of different budgets, whether it's somebody in the residential side or even up toward the commercial side. What type of budgets do you work with, and who do you cater to in terms of budget and lifestyle, and give somebody an idea in terms of what they're getting into with budget wise.
Yeah, it really depends on the feature list that you're looking to include in a project like this. Sometimes I kind of refer to it as a percentage of the value of your home. We see clients spending anywhere from maybe 10-15% of the value, and that would give you a really good solid base. So good patios, nice gardens, driveway, front entrances, and things like that.
Wow.
Up to 35-40% of the value of the home to get into things like accessory buildings, pool houses, pools. So kind of as a function of the value of the home is a good way to think about
Yeah.
it.
And then in terms of, financing options, I know, we saw through COVID and the pandemic where we were, a lot of us were stuck in our homes. And one of the main focuses was if I'm going to, if this is going to be, the term that we always use, the new normal, I want to make my new normal more comfortable. And I want to create a space that's inviting and comfortable and do a project that I love to enjoy. And we saw the backyard pools become popular. We saw the home offices, get added to houses. We saw a lot of those home improvements just through, just due to the lifestyle that we're living. For you, like in terms of that, what are some other things that people are doing today?
In terms of financing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll often work quite closely with a realtor on the front end, where we'll come into a property, give an initial proposal, give some budget ranges of what these improvements would do to the property. And then the realtor will assess that plan and say that these are kind of some of the value adds that's going to bring to the property. Here's our new home value. And then you can use that as a tool to get financing for the project.
Yeah. In terms of just like many people just would refinance their home or pay cash, or are there financing options through Landart, or is it mostly through just the traditional banks?
It'd be either through traditional refinancing or quite often these are properties where a client is either downsizing, or this is their forever retirement home and they want to make it something special. So they've come with a lot of equity to the property and they're ready to make some investments.
Yeah. And one of the things that I see often is people love where they live, right? Everyone, if you grew up in a certain neighborhood, you get along with your neighbors, you love the area that you live, but it just doesn't have that. Maybe you need a bigger house, or maybe you're looking for a different style of home. And so we often see people contemplate this, should I sell and go buy, or should I renovate? And there's always so many people kind of juggling that what should I do? And I'm sure you meet with a lot of people who are juggling that question, because I meet with them too. It's like, hey, what does selling and buying a new house look like? And also what does staying here and renovating look like? And what's your advice for people that are, might be contemplating that question right now?
Yeah. My advice is get an opinion on what can we do with this property. If you love your neighborhood, if you love the area you're in, there's potential in the neighborhood for kind of continued growth and continued investment, then get an opinion from a designer, from a contractor. How much is a project like what you're thinking to achieve the goals that you're looking for going to cost?
Well, thanks so much for letting us into your circle today. You can give the Golfi team a call at 905-641-0308. Devon from Landart Landscaping, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
All right. And thank you, Phil.
Yeah, of course. Always a pleasure. I need to get on the show more.
Absolutely. You got to wrestle that mic away from Rob. This is the Golfi Real Estate Show on News Talk 610 CKTP.